Hi guys, it's Lee here from Andertons. Got another video for you today. I've got my friend here, Tor from T.C Electronic, and today we're looking at some cool new pedals. Got a whole pedal board on the floor. These are the TonePrint pedals and a couple of new analog drive pedals from TC. Kind of amazing, really excited. Been playing around for 20 minutes or so, getting some sounds. So you guys are probably familiar with TC having made some amazing delay and reverb pedals over the years, some killer chorus pedals. They got some vintage drive pedals, but I think it's probably fair to say most of the TC pedals are, they're quite detailed. There's a lot of, a lot of knobs and buttons and editing parameters. And this time around, TC have tried to do something that's more like a regular sort of, simple to use plug in and play pedal. But the TonePrint thing is kind of funky and gives you some of that sort of TC cleverness. But we'll talk about that later. So, Tor, you're the product designer for these new pedals. So, give us a bit of history behind, why you designed these.
Yeah, well, basically, as you said before, we've been doing a lot of effects, a lot of guitar effects over the years. But our main focus has always been on the on multi-effects and giving a lot of options to the users. Yeah. And that's nice for certain things, but the majority of guitar players really love simple, cool-looking pedal. Me too, actually. Yeah. So we really wanted to get back to the roots of what we did, because we actually started out as a guitar effects company more than 30 years ago, and we did regular simple chorus pedals and stuff like that. So that's really where we wanted to get back to the roots and give something that sounds great, that's super easy to use.
Cool. So we've got 8 pedals on the board here. Got a couple of drive pedals. We've got TC's awesome Polytune pedal. We've got a vibrato pedal. We've got a chorus. We've got a flanger. We've got the flashback delay, and we've got the Hall of Fame reverb. First pedal up in the chain is called the Mojo. So it's called the Mojo Mojo. Tell me about the Mojo Mojo.
the Mojo Mojo is, well, it's an overdrive pedal. And what we really try to do with this one is make it as much like a tube amp cranked as you can. So it's a very neutral sounding thing. You don't get that mid-range kind of nasal thing that you'd get on some overdrives. It basically just takes your core guitar sound, the core sound from your amp, and adds gain to that.
Okay.
And one of the things we really tried to do was to keep the amount of bass and low end that you get from the amp, which I find on some pedals is kind of lacking. You kind of miss the low end. So this will give you a really nice, fat, crunchy lead tone, and great for crunchy rhythm stuff as well.
Cool. You'll see on the close-ups here, there's a voice switch here that Tor was showing me earlier. In one position it keeps all the bass end in, and in another position it just kind of takes some of the bass end out. We'll show you actually on a Les Paul how that kind of might, when might you want to take the bass end out, so where you've got perhaps the neck pickup on a Les Paul. So anyway, we'll have a bit of a play. I'll play a bit and Tor can play a bit, and we'll show you. By the way, I'm using a Fender Supersonic 22 tube amp here, completely on the clean channel with no reverb, so all the reverb you're hearing is actually coming from the board. So here's my clean sound. Here's the Mojo Mojo. Do you want to give us a play with some Les Paul?
One of the things that I find is really nice about this pedal is that you can actually get a lot of dynamics out of your playing, because it's really sensitive to the way you pick, whether you use the volume control, pick hard, pick soft, you get different responses. It's not just this kind of flat tone.
Yeah.
So if I pick softly, oh, sorry. I get this sort of nice, almost clean tone. But if I start to dig in a little bit,
it's got the bass end thing back in as well.
It sort of breathes and is alive. You kind of feel that, the pedal is kind of responding to the way you're picking.
Yeah.
And the same goes if I turn down the volume a bit. I can actually get a sort of clean tone, even though we have quite an amount of overdrive
Yep.
on now. So now I can turn it up and then get to a sort of lead tone. So basically I have the option of basically just dialing in my sound just using the volume knob.
Cool. So Mojo's going to appeal to a sort of a bluesy rock kind of guitar
Exactly,
player, isn't it?
exactly.
So at the moment we've got the settings on here about halfway up. I'll just give you an idea, kind of maxed out how much drive you could get. Nice squeal. Okay, so that's the Mojo Mojo. The next one, if I lean over here, is a Darth Vader style looking pedal called the Dark Matter. No prizes for guessing what kind of pedal this is going to be, I guess.
Actually, it's not as evil sounding as the name implies.
Really?
It's more of a classic hard rock kind of thing. It's not crazy death metal stuff.
Because I can feel the force in this.
You can
one.
feel the force?
Yeah, I can feel the force.
I think you'll hear it as well, hopefully. But it's not that evil.
Well, let's see if this takes us to the dark side or not. Okay, so we'll engage this one. Same idea. It's a completely analog, true bypass, analog circuited drive pedal. And this is our clean sound.
Yes.
Okay, this is our clean sound. And this is the Dark Matter. Oh, what are the two voices, by the way, on Dark Matter?
The voices on this one is not the bass stuff that we had on the Mojo Mojo overdrive.
Yep.
This basically switches between two different mid-range voicings, so
Okay.
you can get a more vintage style sound and a more modern hot rodded kind of thing.
So which is the sort of more scooped
So the
sound?
up one is the upper one is more emphasis on the lower mids, and the bottom one is emphasis on the upper mids. So it's more of a snarly kind of
Okay,
angry thing.
so I'm going to prefer, I think, probably the upward
Yeah,
position.
let's try that.
Okay, here we go.
So
I like that.
a little
Yeah, no, I
evil.
like that. It's again, it's not still got that kind of dynamic sort of definition in there.
Yeah.
Hasn't really scooped it, has it? It's still
No.
kind of quite fat sounding.
Exactly, and it has mid-range in there,
Yeah.
even though you get that chunky feeling. So, I mean, you'll turn that on, and if you play in a band, you'll still hear the guitar. Some of the
Yeah.
when you get a really scoop pedal, you have this tendency to disappear. It'll sound great in your bedroom, but
Yeah.
you play with
Yeah.
a band and it's just totally gone.
Yeah, we've tried to say that a lot in these videos with chappers particularly, which is, the more you scoop the mid-range out of a sound, sometimes you get some killer sounds when you're maybe demoing an amp in the store or you're at home in the bedroom or whatever.
Yeah.
The minute you introduce the rest of the band mix into that, you just don't hear anything.
No,
It's
because
all gone.
Guitar is basically a mid-range heavy
Yeah.
instrument, so you're basically removing all the stuff that the guitar
Yeah.
sound is made out of.
Cool. Let me have a play. You were just saying we can stack these up together. So the idea here, guys, is that basically you can use the Mojo Mojo and the Dark Matter together. I'm going to step through them so you can kind of hear in quick succession the sort of sounds that you might be able to get. So I've got a clean sound. I have my nice bluesy sound. Got my heavier kind of rhythm sound. And then I can put both together. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So that's it for the two drive pedals. Now we're going to move on to the TonePrint pedals.
Exactly.